Hello everybody, welcome back to Ball Street in a bit of Flav and James time as we preview this weekend's Flames, as we preview this weekend's games, the big four games. Just to read out the games in full, if you don't have a phone but you are on YouTube.
Are you about to read out the fixtures?
I am.
The entire fixture list?
No, not
Why?
Strap yourselves in.
No,
an
actually,
hour
if you
long
want to
video.
know, Google it. Do some work yourself. We're here to deliver information. Not
Exactly, that's what I'm about to do.
Go on then.
Wolves, Man City, Arsenal, West Ham, Bournemouth, Everton, Huddersfield, Cardiff, Southampton, Leicester City, and Liverpool in the 5:30 game against Brighton. And then, of course, on the Sunday, I can't find it. So there's other games as well. Watford,
what a waste
Fulham
of time. What a waste of time.
I had it screenshots, I had it all prepared. But we're going to concentrate on four games in particular, Flav.
The least shit out of all of them.
Well, that depends.
There's a problem with the Premier League, right? It's heralded as the best league in the world, isn't it? The Premier League, everybody watches it. So many subscribers from overseas, get all the money. Isn't it? That's what it's like.
like
But the reality, what are you drinking?
It's my preview goblet.
Right. The reality is that there are turgid games every week that we have to sit through.
It's funny
and
you
do you know
say
what we've decided? We're not going to talk about them all.
Yeah,
We're going to talk about the four best ones.
Yeah. Although they're saying that, I am quite interested in Huddersfield Cardiff this weekend.
Are you?
Yeah, I am. I think because it's like
so it's a barometer of who is the shittest in the league.
It says, well, yeah, it is. But it's like, these are points you should be getting. Both teams will be looking for that, which makes it a 6-pointer, if you will.
And that's why you love football.
And that's why I bloody love football.
You see the narrative in every game. It's good.
Just to say, massive, and I mean massive, and I mean massive.
I've had this said to me many times.
Announcement at the end of this video. Stick around. Wolves versus Man City. That's how I feel about Man City at the moment.
Yeah.
We need to lose a game, and maybe this is the one because
Wolves?
in the last two seasons, here's a stat for you, Flav. In the previous campaigns, that's my goblet. A championship winner has lost to a newly promoted side the first time they played on the next season. Okay, I don't think that's going to make any huge difference. But like in last year, Burnley beat Leicester, and Newcastle beat Chelsea.
Yeah,
last season.
So this, I think, isn't this a barometer? I said barometer twice in the first 5 minutes, but isn't it a barometer of the fact that Man City have changed in the game somewhat?
Well, yeah, I mean that's the other stat that we've got down here is that since 2011, 2012, every team that's won the league, the next season they haven't won the first 3 games on the trot, which is something that sounds like it's hard to win 3 games on the trot, but actually that should be quite common for a team that's won the league.
You'd think so.
And no one's been able to do it. So if Man City do it this weekend, I think that does make it, as you say, it's a barometer, if you will, of where Man City
in the season predictor, which we got some stick for in the comments below. I said that they would go the entire season unbeaten. That's what I said.
Yes, I remember.
Do you believe that now?
After 2 games?
Yes.
Against Arsenal and Huddersfield?
Yeah.
No.
Right.
I think they'll lose. I think this something could happen this weekend. You've heard it here first. James Allcott.
You're saying Wolves.
Telling you now, Wolves could get something out of this.
Do you know what this is about, right? And I know this stinks of you.
What do you mean?
I just know what you're like. Because QPR are in the Championship, although not for long, because QPR are in the Championship, you're perpetuating a Championship side coming up are really good. That's what you're trying to do.
Right.
Because the Championship, you're saying...
Good impression.
You're saying the Championship it produces good teams and Wolves are a good team.
It's not what I'm saying.
They are.
What I'm saying is Wolves have a very good team, have spent a lot of money, played very well against Leicester last week, where the second goal was a deflection, the first goal was a ridiculous own goal. They hit the bar and the post like 3 or 4 times. Right. They've got a good team, okay?
Yeah.
And they've got, these Portuguese superstars who can play good football. So maybe at Wolves, what's Wolves Stadium?
Molineux.
At the Molineux, they could conjure up a surprise. That's what I'm saying this week. And talking about it with Man City as well, Daniel Grimshaw. It's going to be an interesting one for your fantasy teams, right? Because you've got to have a second goalkeeper. And, of course, Ederson's going to play every week. But often you want a cheap goalie as your second goalkeeper.
Right.
Okay? Daniel Grimshaw is now the number 2 goalkeeper for Man City.
I've never even heard of him.
Exactly. 20 years old, English dude.
Yeah.
Played in the UEFA League for Man City. He hasn't played a single game for him or really been on loan anywhere else.
What, UEFA League? I've never heard that one.
Claudio Bravo's out now, isn't he? He's done his Achilles tendon. They got rid of Hart. Right. They got rid of another dude as well. And so if Ederson gets injured, he's going to be the guy who comes in,
And then
you've
got ready-made points coming in.
You've got ready-made points coming in, but also that could, if sort of touching on, the negative side, the downward spiral, which I know you're always really excited about. That could be the crack that opens up the whole thing. Man City start to plummet. But this kid who can't handle it if Ederson gets injured.
Yeah.
Something to cling on to.
Yeah, I suppose.
I think that's as good as it gets at the moment.
Do you know what's pissed me off this week?
Go on.
This whole All or Nothing documentary.
Why has it pissed you off?
Like, why? Why does it even exist? Like,
it's good exposure.
They haven't got enough. Like, their brand isn't growing, flying through the roof already. Amazon gone, can we make a 10-part documentary on your title-winning season, please? And they've gone, yeah, you can, because we need more plaudits. We need Pep Guardiola to be thrust even further into the stratosphere of egotism that he has.
Do you know what someone said in the office yesterday? He's like, did Man City know they were doing this? Like, what? Yeah, they knew it. imagine if that's what had happened.
What, it was just like Amazon had somehow got in without him.
Everyone's seen him and gone, he must be all right. He must be fine. Like the whole time. And they just snuck off and done an Amazon Prime thing, which they're just shoving down everyone's throats.
Do you see what Netflix are doing?
Well, there's the
doing one about
right?
Sunderland.
Are they?
That's the one I want to watch. Because I get nothing.
Seriously?
Yes, the last season.
Last season?
Yeah. So that's the one I want to watch. Right. I don't want to watch all this, great things happening to a club that's had untold money put into it with the best manager in the world, the best players in the world. Why am I going to spend 12 hours of my life watching that? What I want to watch is misery of fans that I hate. That's what I don't even really hate Sunderland.
That is the polar opposite of the Man City
it's
one.
It's perfect.
Because the Man City one, there's no real story arc because they just kept winning.
Yeah.
But Sunderland, it's like total opposite.
All the way down.
Devastating.
They should make one about QPR this year.
Well, 2 loan signings. Excited about what could happen this weekend. Big game against Wigan. Come on, you R's.
Adam's on 1s and 2s.
Hello.
You'd watch a documentary about QPR going down.
There's one out already. Ends in us getting into the Premier League. You might enjoy that. You might learn a lot from it. Who's going to win that one? Man City.
Man City are going to win.
It's going to be a draw, guys.
4-0
first.
4-0 Man City.
It's going to be a draw. Allcott said it. Loads of tweets to me going, yes, you are the messiah of predictions, if I get that right. Arsenal versus West Ham. This is interesting.
Yeah.
Bit of team news for you. Kolasinac out. Maitland-Niles out because of the Man City game. Cole Jenkinson out. Ankle injury.
Why is that?
Koscielny out, of course, as well. Remain on the sidelines.
What was that reaction to Cole
Jenkinson? They've been wishing that he would be in the team to really kickstart the season. That was the joke I was doing.
I thought he'd gone.
Pellegrini's got a couple of concerns. Carroll always out. Lanzini's been out. That's long term, as is Winston Reid. But Mark Noble has got a bad back. Now, Sam Allardyce came out and said that Noble and Jack Wilshere
cannot play
together because they're too slow. Or they're both too slow.
Yeah.
Would you agree with that as Jack Wilshere makes his return to the Emirates?
I wouldn't agree with the very, very simple analysis and punditry that they're both too slow. I'm pretty sure it's more complex than just how fast they can run. I think that neither one of them is a player that can break up play and have a detrimental impact on the other players' offensive abilities.
Yes,
so
I understand.
Do you know what I mean? So they need...
You need a mix, I think, a lot of the time.
I think you need, like someone like Arsenal board, like Torreira with Wilshere would be a good combination. Noble and Wilshere strikes me as two players that are very different but offer a similar effect on the game in that it's the offensive pass. So Noble's good at spraying balls around and trying to be that metronome in midfield. But Wilshere has a different talent but comparable in that it's about getting the play from the midfield to the forwards. And Wilshere's an excellent midfielder, and he should start. And it strikes me at West Ham is like Noble's this, and it can't be this simple. But if Allardyce can make a career out of just saying that two players can't play together because they're slow, then they can't say that Noble just isn't good enough and shouldn't be playing because he's the club captain, and that's what he does.
Can we just put a pin in Sam Allardyce as well now? Like, can we just stop this now? Because he's just like, I've seen you see clips everywhere of like a bit of punditry, and there's just Sam Allardyce just there, just going, he's too slow, or whatever, just some sort of rubbish comment. Like, punditry's got to be better than that.
He would keep QPR up. You would take him right now.
Would I? Probably would.
Of course you would.
But I don't want to see him on a TV. I don't want to see him on a telly screen. Okay,
right,
I just want to say that.
I'm fine.
Jack Wilshere, of course, was told that he wouldn't be getting games, and that's why he left. Guendouzi has come in and has done quite well so far. I think people have been pleased with him in such a integral role that he's playing, that sort of holding midfielder for Arsenal. But he's got a good pass on him. He's quite tenacious. I think he will suit having Torreira in that. The first game against Man City with Xhaka alongside him, I think he struggled a little bit. But I think there are some. I think if Wenger had been in the job and they'd lost these first 2 games, there would just be this huge cloud. But I feel like there are some sort of... I think people Arsenal fans got themselves ready for that. They were ready that, right, we might not win these first 2 games, but now is where the season starts for Arsenal a little bit. And it'll be interesting
Do you think they'll still hold that sort of stoicism when West Ham beat them?
Neither of them got
At
any
what point do Arsenal start to lose their shit again, do you think?
Well, let me ask this question as well, because I think you've got West Ham. You can chuck West Ham in that pot as well. Because West Ham have their ups and downs.
They're on the brink.
Who will be affected by a defeat worse? West Ham
this weekend
or Arsenal? Because they're both on 0 points.
Yeah.
So if neither of them get any points, then that's 3 games into the season.
Great question.
Thank you.
That's why you earn the big bucks. Arsenal will be more badly affected by it because the 2 they can write off Chelsea away. They can write off Man City away. You can't write off losing to West Ham at home if you're Arsenal. You can't. Emery.
They're favourites, aren't they? They're favourites for the game.
Of course.
So many points as well that they got last season.
And you know, despite the fact that they have lost to 2 of the better teams in the league, they did show promise going forward. Certainly against Chelsea, there was a period in the second half. End of the first half.
Missed a few sitters.
Scored 2 goals. Aubameyang missed a sitter. Arsenal have the quality's there, but it's still very early doors for Emery. And you talk about Guendouzi, he's just an haircut, isn't he?
Well, we will see. You know my feelings on that.
Let us know in the comments below. Is he a haircut or not?
Is he just a haircut?
Is he a haircut? It doesn't. Not just a haircut.
So literally just write just a haircut.
Yeah, no. You could write just a haircut below, or you can write he's a haircut, but, and then you can list the things that he's good at.
Good.
He actually has. He was a good stat actually on. What was it? In terms of interceptions and key passes, he has 4 more combined than any other player in the Premier League.
Really? The team that's lost both games?
Yeah, apparently so. Or maybe just at Arsenal, I don't know.
If I said to you, you could have, right now, you could have Wilshere again, or you could have the haircut, who would you want?
As if I was an Arsenal fan? If I was an Arsenal fan, I wouldn't be, this would be the last thing I'd have to consider. But, I mean, you've got to move forward, and Wilshere was a long time, and there's an element of inertia. I'd go for the young, promising talent at this stage.
Interesting, because I am a big fan of Wilshere.
Me too.
Big fan.
Well, look, can I just clarify that, just in case people I know watch this? I hate his guts, but he's a very good footballer.
Okay. With Guendouzi, I was looking into his history a little bit. Like, the guy's 19.
Yeah.
He played in the 2nd division of France last season. So for him to step up and have those first 2 games and do that well, I'm fascinated to see if he can carry it on and do even better in other games. Or I always believe, I have a theory with young players when they come in, that they have this sort of 6-game adrenaline rush where they are just buzzing and happy to be there, and there's no consequences because they're just the kid playing, and they just give it everything, and there's a freedom to that can work really well.
Yeah.
But then after that, they're kind of like, you have one bad game, or things are expected of you. You get hit by the real world, and it can hurt.
It's you get a bubble of honeymoon period, isn't it? So you're new. It's a new club. You want to impress, and you're likely to have, if you're talented, that initial kind of surprise. People are lenient on the mistakes you make because you're young and you're foreign, and it's a new league, and then that starts to wane, and then you see how good a player is. From his start, I wasn't that impressed against Man City. I was very impressed against Chelsea.
I saw a lot of things that I liked. I thought he was a little bit nervous, and I think he was playing in a game against a team that presses so well.
And the mistakes that he made, the one for the goal against, I think it was Sterling, where he just let Sterling goes past him, which is Sterling's forte, to be fair. That was his fault, but it was a kind of a mistake that you'd expect a 19-year-old kid to make. So, if I was an Arsenal fan, I'd be quite excited by him, and, I wouldn't be too harsh on him if he does have a couple of poor games, because what do you expect? It's a learning curve for him. If he storms the league and plays consistently well, then they've got a hell of a player.
Yeah. I think West Ham will definitely take a draw in this one just to kind of get themselves going, because I think last week they've got a really tough set of fixtures to start off with, and the Bournemouth game last week, that was a bit of a nightmare because they needed a win there and they were in the lead. Last question I'll ask about Arsenal. Who's the most important attacking player for Arsenal? Because I think that's the thing that's going to get people excited. It's the defence feels wobbly to me. But like moving forward, that's always been what's been exciting. And so far, Aubameyang obviously hasn't, I don't think he's scored yet, has he? Ozil hasn't scored yet either. But those guys are the guys who are going to fire them to finishing higher.
Yeah, I think, look, Aubameyang is world class and he will always be that. But it's Ozil, wherever or not he plays. It's always him. He's the kind of, you know, there's a reason he's on 350 grand a week, and it's not the form that he's been in the last 6. There's that, and he had Arsenal over a barrel, desperation, and you know, fear
of losing him.
Losing him and fear.
Sanchez played him hard, didn't he? Because
they lost Sanchez, so you know, desperation, fear, and a good agent. But other than that, you know, his form, you know, it's not. His form hasn't been there. But you know, even for Germany in the summer, he was pretty bad. So, if he plays and he plays well, and he can reclaim some of the form that he had when he just joined Arsenal and before that, then they become a completely different entity and one that everybody needs to look out for. At the moment, Spurs lined up against them, I'd have absolutely no fear. And that's rare going into a North London derby. But it's early days. Emery's it's very early into his job. You can't be too critical. I think it's all going to be fine for them, unfortunately.
Okay. So you think they'll win at prediction?
I think they're going to win.
I did too. I got feeling 3-0. I've got in my head. Quick mention for Henrik Mkhitaryan as well. He's actually kind of played quite well for them.
He has.
Directly involved in 8 goals in his 13 Premier League games for Arsenal so far. One more than in his last 25 for Man United, so he is settled in well. So I think it's a good weekend for him as well. Maybe him and Aubameyang can link up. Liverpool versus Brighton. Brighton, brilliant win last week. But I think this is a massive test for Brighton, because last season they had those moments where they were great at home, but their away form was really, really poor. I think it might have been the worst, if not, it was the second worst. And at Liverpool, they've not done well at all. Chris Hughton's never, I don't think he's ever won at Anfield like 6 times.
I'd imagine there's a few managers that hasn't had that.
Probably true, yeah. And Joe, Liverpool have been amazing at home. Unbeaten in the last 22 Premier League games at home. Have kept clean sheets in the last 6 as well. Is there any way that you can see Brighton getting anything out of this?
I can't see anybody getting anything from Anfield all season. So let alone Brighton.
Really?
I think...
And of course they've lost Tom Ahmed. Massive loss for Brighton as he goes on loan to Queen's Park Rangers to bang in the goals. So no, you don't think Brighton? You don't think Brighton will do much?
No, I don't think it'll do much. It's unfortunate for them. It's kind of a free hit, isn't it? I spoke to Prejak earlier.
I think it's a free hit
for Brighton. No one expects them to.
Probably.
And the thing is, it's almost a free hit for Liverpool as well, because they, you know, it's going to be. I think. Look, I love Chris Houghton. I love him as a manager, and you know, his connection with Spurs and all that sort of stuff. But Klopp, Liverpool this season at Anfield, it's the hardest fixture apart from or Man United away, and I probably Man City away, and I couldn't split those. I spoke to Pajak earlier in the week. Go and have a look at that feature, because we're trying to figure out just how good is this Liverpool side, because at the moment they look like world beaters.
Yeah.
But where are the chinks? Where are the problems? How are people going to get at them? And it's perhaps in these games where you might be able to see some of that. Since Van Dijk's since Van Dijk has come in, their defence has been solid.
Yeah.
And Klopp's greatest truth. I mean, they talk about the way he plays football and I'm always going to puke in my mouth, but heavy metal football. Yeah, the Gegen press and all that shit, right? All of that is impressive, right? And it's great to watch and all that stuff. But his key attribute is plugging holes.
Plugging holes.
Did I say plugging holes? His key attribute is plugging the biggest holes.
Yeah.
And you know, midfield issue, Naby Keita gets in. Defence issue, getting Van Dijk. You know, by Mane, pace and guile up front.
The two things I'll say about
Salah.
What makes this game more important than people probably think is these are the games that Liverpool fucked up with for the last 20 odd years. these games where they're definitely going to win. I remember Watford going up in like 1999, like the first time they went up, and they'd gone from the second division and then won the playoffs again, and their squad was an embarrassment, and they beat Liverpool at Anfield. So like these are the games through history that have like got them.
We'll see.
So yeah, we will see.
Different Liverpool, I think.
I agree. You think Liverpool win this one, win it handsomely?
I think I can't see anything past another 3 or 4.
I've got 4 in my head.
Yeah.
I mean, I was playing devil's advocate, but I expect them to pump them. And finally, we've got Man United versus Spurs. Now, let's give you some team news before we dive into the whole Mourinho rigmarole. Mourinho, there's a few players that are going to be coming back. Matic could be back, which could be huge for them.
Yep.
Herrera is an option as well. Valencia will be back after the first 2 games. And Sanchez should be fine as well. He had a little knock in the last game. Before we get onto the way that the game might sort of boil down, the Mourinho, you can't escape talking about Mourinho. But I was listening to this thing on a podcast, and it was basically saying that a source from within Manchester United was saying that they expected this whole media furore throughout the summer because you've got a new manager in Emery, a new manager in Sarri, Pep Guardiola having the greatest season Man City have ever had, and you've got Pochettino who's pretty settled, pretty solid, has signed a new deal, so he's not going anywhere either.
Yeah.
So Mourinho was the only target really available for the press, and he's been a bit dour over the last season, so they fully expected this to happen. Do you think there's any fairness in that comment, in that idea?
Not really. No, I don't
Shut me down.
No, I don't think so. I think he's brought all this on himself completely. I understand out of all of them, he's the biggest target and the easiest news story for sure, but he hasn't helped himself. He hasn't shielded Man United from the kind of embarrassing statements. He's thrown Luke Shaw under the bus previously. Martial, this guy, there was issues, and then his wife brought his child into the world.
So you believe in that? You believe that, because often he goes, there's this siege mentality, or everyone talks about this siege mentality where he plays the press off against themselves.
Yeah.
And him and his guys kind of get together and they do it against, fight against everyone else.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel the same this time, does it?
No, it doesn't.
I don't think he's gone about it the same way.
Because he's attacking his own team. He's attacking his own, his owners. He's saying that the 2 centre-backs that he paid a lot of money for, Bay and Lindelof, aren't good enough. And his job is to recruit the right players. So he's now saying, well, look, I failed here. Now I want more money to fix that problem. Which, there's maybe a little bit of nobility in that, because he's saying what I did wasn't good enough. I don't think that's what he's saying.
Yeah.
But it could be. It feels like he's digging his own grave. I think everyone's running out of patience with him. We've seen him do it over and again. It's funny when he winds up other managers. I like that bit. I like that because I like what he's trying to do. He's finding an edge everywhere. But this seems like he's just losing the plot, similar to that last season at Chelsea when it all went wrong internally. But
it's all down to winning or losing, isn't it? Because he does seem cunning and fantastic when he's winning games. When he gets the better of them. But if he's not winning these games...
And how many games has he lost?
1. So there is a bit of an overreaction. 2.
Where did they finish the last season?
2nd. Where did they finish the season before that? 6th. How many trophies did he win in that season? 3. So he's like, that's the thing. I think there is some truth in that media aspect of it, because the press need a casualty.
Yeah, but
up there.
He's not helping himself, though, is he?
I get that.
Right, Man United fans are going to go mad if we don't mention Woodward, because he was the accountant of the Glazers that helped them get to this massive football club of only spending something like 16% of their own money when you compare to the entire cost of this purchase. So they're not happy with him. They think that Woodward is not backing Mourinho. He's giving him...
He came out and said that they don't need to win trophies to keep making money.
And this is it, right? If we just quickly, because I want to go down this road a little bit, but this isn't a sport. It's not a sport anymore, right? This is about money, and it's about the people that own it. And the only people fucking frustrated with this whole system are fans. And all we do is keep paying in. So it will never change. So don't get pissed off at your board. It doesn't matter. Look at what's happening at Arsenal. What's his face? Kroenke. Just he's got a bigger share now, right? They hate him.
Yeah.
He doesn't care what they think
No.
because they keep paying money in. And the alternative is what? Don't go to watch football. And who can do that? How can you not go and watch QPR? How can he not go and watch Brentford?
Well,
I mean, if he stops going Brentford, they will be fucked.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
That's a third of the game.
Yeah, exactly.
But no, but at a lower level, it is a problem because if they need people to come through, because the what you get from the gate receipts is important, is a big factor. But in the Premier League, most of the teams don't. It doesn't actually. They'd still make a profit if there was an empty stadium. That's the big problem at the top level. Yeah, you're right with that.
But what I say, it's a problem for fans. It's not a problem for owners. Not a problem for Sky Sports. It's not a problem for anyone else. As long as the popularity around the world continues to grow.
So dare I say it, and I'm going to be sick of my mouth a little bit because this is so fucking clickbait, and I know the answer, and I probably shouldn't answer it, especially now I've done this whole ramble. Is it a must-win game for Jose? You think it's a must-win? Is this a must-win?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Do you think it is?
I do. I think so. Spurs go out and then turn them over.
If he wins the next 6 after that,
then he should stay.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's not a must-win game.
Probably not. You're right. Actually, I've changed my mind.
All I said from Spurs' point of view. 6 points out of 6.
There's nothing else to say about Spurs, really, is there? It's just like, it's the same team, been the same team for 2 years. We are playing the exact same way as we always have done. Mm-hmm. We'll probably finish in the top 4. We should get a result against United. That's that summed up.
Well, that's it. That game, though, when you've got a wounded animal in Man United, should you be winning that game?
Yeah, but Spurs' big failing is taking advantage of opportunities when they're put in front of us. Right. Snatching defeat from the jaws of victory is our speciality, and I quite like that.
Do you?
Yeah, why not?
Fair enough. I'm sure Spurs are exactly the same.
There is some news about Lloris, though, obviously just come out just before we started recording, been done for drink driving, so I'm not sure if he'll play. Not good. Not a good look.
Is he still out? He's still out on it, isn't he, right now?
Probably shouldn't make a joke out of it.
I'm not making a joke of that. That is absolutely horrendous. But the gag is that by Monday he's still hammered.
Right.
And so can't see the ball. Went down the road. Probably shouldn't have. Who's going to win that then? Prediction for Man United versus Spurs.
I think Spurs are going to win 2-1.
Spurs are going to win 2-1, are they? I think it's going to be really boring, everyone. Don't waste your bank holiday on that. I know Adam won't be on the 1s and 2s. He'll be at Notting Hill. Won't you, mate? Notting Hill Carnival. Smash it up.
Not on Monday, though, because Monday's a dodgy day.
Oh, yeah.
And he ain't cut from that kind of cloth, is what I'm saying.
Really? Okay.
He'll be going lovely family day on Sunday.
Lovely. Oh, okay. Sorry. I got my wires crossed there. But I think it'll be a draw, a boring snore draw. That's what I think is going to happen.
Who cares?
What we do care about is the big announcement that you've been waiting for this whole video.
Well, say you've been waiting for. There may be some people watching this that might know what we're about to say.
Well, more likely for those of you who've got the gumption to stick around to the end of the video. First of all, thank you.
Yeah.
Second of all, subscribe.
Yep.
Because, I mean, you've come this far. Might as well hit the button.
Maybe they all... Yeah, that's true. Like, so any of you that aren't subscribed now, please.
Now's the time.
Now's the time.
And the big announcement is...
How are we going to announce it?
So you're just telling me.
Oh. I'm resigning from Ball Street.
He's gone. No, he's not. Don't worry. Everyone's like, yeah! like.
All right, see you next week.
Yeah, we'll see you next week. No, One for the Weekend is back. Get in, everybody! Come on!
What does that mean? Twinkles!
Twinkles is back! Awful accents, back! Massive rants over things that are unnecessary, back!
Birds and that will be back. Although he ain't. He's a little bit. He's not sure, is he?
Yeah. But One for the Weekend is back. New bits in my mind.
Lots of football stuff.
Coming out.
Sort of stuff.
Lots of chat. Not. We're talking about football, but we're keeping football out of it as well.
Let's keep football out of football.
Indeed. But it's back. Thank you to everyone who has. I mean, it was getting irritating by the end of it. It was just going, where's One for the Weekend? Yeah.
All we got on Twitter was, when's One for the Weekend coming out? Get a life.
Yeah.
It's got nothing to do but tweet us about it.
Your life revolves around one podcast of high quality, no doubt. I get that.
Of course.
But maybe some mindfulness, meditation, find something else as well.
All right, I've had enough.
But it's back, and we're excited to do it. If you enjoyed this video, then hit subscribe. You just done me. You haven't, you? Enjoyed this video, then hit subscribe. You come this far. One for the Weekend will be back next week with me and Flav, who will stay for the duration of the video. We'll get that written into his contract. You cut me off there, have you? You fuckers. Click like and see you later.